So right off the bat, we're in RO Writer. We got ourselves a repair order up, and we're going to be talking about Report Pro today. And the reason we're going to do that is because it's a big program. It's got a lot of things that it can do for you. So I always like to start out with the home screen here, and I call this the tour. If you just click up on Quick Invoice here, basically what it's going to do is pull up the invoice that you currently have open in your management system and basically print it. So it's a quick way of getting to that and having that happen automatic, and it's going to send that straight on out. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward and good. We're not going to let that happen. They get mad at me when I keep printing. If you're doing paper inspections, this is your tech worksheet, quick vehicle, and it's going to print out what you have as a tech worksheet for the vehicle here. And in the settings, if you choose to have it, it'll also print out an inspection sheet. Are either one of you folks using Mobile Manager at this point in time?
We are trying to transition to that.
All right, so that's a function that you really not need to worry about right now because you're going to go to the tablets and printing that sheet's not a big deal. But I can print your sheet out here, and I'll show you we can actually go through the customization and whatnot and see what's going on. I like to call this main window here the viewer window. And these actions that you see up here, print, export, email, basically whatever is displayed in this window, they're going to do whatever you choose. So I can print, this is yet another way of printing out this document. Or if I want to export something, if I run one of my, matter of fact, if the customer comes in and wants a history report, I can run it right here. Of course, it's a demo, so there's no history on it. I can export that or print that right to the customer. I can export it out in a Windows Crystal Reports or a Microsoft Excel format and send it to my customer if they want to have a copy of their history. And that's a nice little thing to have there. Or I can actually set it out in Excel through an email that this will be connected right to in our management system and our PC that we're working on. The next section here is all going to interact with the page, how we look at this. We got two levels of zoom in and zoom out. We can move from one page to another if we have a multi-page document. And if we make any changes in our management system, we're in here and we're in RO Writer, and we make any changes, we may have to hit this reload button up here to tell our software to reload that and make those changes appear in Report Pro. A new feature that came out in the last 4 weeks is changing the work order. No longer do you have to go back to your RO Writer and go back to your main progress. You now have the ability to just go right here, click on this, and it should show your whole work in progress right in front of you. And just double clicking on the vehicle that you wish will pull it through. So that's one change. So another change is you may also be used to having the search function down here where even though you can still select it, you'll find out that you can't do anything with it. Well, the reason is we still need this window, but if you go back up to the change work order, that search function now is here. And you can search by customer name or work orders. So that's the way you can go and pull all work orders up or new information on the customer just by putting it in here and doing that search. Hit return, and it's going to find all your Smith customers if you have any, and then you just select on the repair order or whatever you're working on. And that way you can look up the past and whatnot that's going on. So this function here that you see is replacing what we had down in here. Okay? Invoices, customization. Down on the left-hand side here, we have these invoice types that you have. The very basic one that you have here. And as you can see, I have this set up in such a way that it's just showing us the very basic invoice type right there. So that's a very basic, and that's pretty similar to what you start off with and what you have in your original documents and whatnot. But we're going to be customizing it, so I wanted to show you where we're starting from and where we're going. So first thing you want to do is your foundation. Choose one it is that looks good. If you have pre-printed paper with your logo and stuff up here, you can see how it would fit right here with this setup. But also you got the legacy pre-printed. What it's going to do is leave a blank up top right here where that. Our customers tend to favor the modern setup. So it's one of the best foundations to start with. The modern setup is going to give you a much easier to read document. You're about to find out. To customize the invoice, hit Customize, hit Invoice, and it opens up this window here. So one of the first things that you want to do is if you have a shop logo and we've installed your software, this should already be set up. Whenever the arrow is unselected, that means we're not using it. But when we click on it and select it, we want to put our invoice logo right on the invoice. We got to tell our software where to go. And we click over here. It's going to open up that Windows window, and it's going to take us to our bot folder, RO Writer, and it's going to take us into the samples file. And if you want to see how it is through the Windows world, you go down there, you find your drive, your C drive, and basically you find your RO Writer. Now mind you, yours might just say bot, but because I do demonstrations and have a couple different ones, mine's labeled bot RO Writer. And then you go into samples. And the reason I'm showing you this is because if you build any kind of logo or anything, this is where you want to put it. You want to put it right in here. Because when we're in the software and setting up our invoice, we're going to go right to that samples folder and find the logo that we want. And as simple as clicking on it, there it is. It's now part of this path. You put your shop name and your address and everything on there. Pretty straightforward. If you have a slogan, put that on. If you have any shop inspection licenses or whatever, all that information can show up here. You want to put your customer's spouse in there. On the zero balance, want paid up on the invoice, you click here and you print the invoice after they've zeroed the balance. The word paid is going to show up. Labels and abbreviation. Basically going to save you some paper right here by putting a shorter header after the first page. Next section we're going to is the body. So I move from the header down to the body, and we can start applying color to these documents. Now, of course, you're going to need a color printer to take advantage of this, but here's the other side of the coin. You can start now sending these out to a customer through email so that they can get it on their computer and no colors needed, but they're going to have an actual document to work with. You're going to find out that I'm actually going to be able to make some of this live where they can go to your Facebook and another different couple of sites to make that work. With the way people are today, maybe you don't want to show your parts prices and parts numbers, but what they're going to do is they're going to go up on the internet and look, and they're going to come back and tell you, hey, I could have got this part at half the price, and of course it's a Chinese part or something like that. So just as easily as deselecting those items, you can take them off. You know, the same thing with any kind of labor and stuff, show sublet work, by selecting any of those. So it's all pretty self-explanatory. Read what it says. If you're going to show labor and parts, select it. If you don't want to, take it off. This here is going to put jobs together. Here we're going to kind of break down, instead of having a long description like we did 4 lines of diagnosis or something like that, here we might actually just show the first line. Again, saving paper, that's up to you. I prefer to show the whole thing. And any lines that are being added can be removed by selecting there. I like to call my shop JV Automotive, and I can put a watermark across the back of that, and I'll show you what that looks. So just by putting my shop initials in there and selecting watermark, I've got that there. Your shop has a website, well, drive traffic to it. And here's the big thing. Why are we spending this time on the invoice? Because it's your branding, it's your receipt. And 100% of your customers should be leaving with either. And think about that. That's the ultimate in advertising that you can do. If you send out mailers, they say if I do a 10% return, if you send 1,000 out and you only got 50 responses, they say that's a really big return. Well, here you're actually putting a document or a digital document in the customer's reach. That's 100% penetration, and it's not costing you anything. So that's why I'm taking the time to show you what you can do here with your repair orders, your invoices, so that when you send them out to the customer, they're going to do good things for you. So select that box, put in your shop's address right there, and you can go with the typical link color if you want, just like this. Or you can show a QR code that's actually, if the customer scans that with their smartphone, they'll be able to go right to your website using the smartphone in the proper app. Of course, your disclaimer, text messaging. You definitely want to make sure your people are on board with your text messaging when you're using it, so having that selected, it's going to show that out on the invoice. And again, go through here. If you want to show something, show it. If you don't, deselect it. So some companies, they don't want the customer to know who the tech is. They don't want to show, but some states are required to show the license. So deselect and select as need be. On the sections here, you spend a lot of time doing the digital inspection. You put all sorts of recommendations automatically in the system. choose this and call it what you want. You can call it recommendations or today's findings or whatever, and it's as easy as selecting it and putting it in. All right. If there's any new recommendations that they haven't settled, click that. And look at this. We're actually going to put a QR code where they can scan that again with their phone and put an appointment in their calendar and set that appointment in their phone as a reminder of that work that we've tried to sell them today that they didn't do. Continuing on, any decline work, you can show the prices, customer authorization, and if you showed any kind of discount, you can have all this stuff automatically put in. So everyone gets the idea that just selecting and deselecting is all it takes to make that happen. Social media is now the new accepted way of advertising. And if you have a Facebook account, a Twitter account, if you're in LinkedIn, or you have YouTube videos, all you have to do is put those addresses right in these boxes here and select the ones that you want to show. And here's the nice thing about this. If you start persuading your customers to let you send this to them digitally, they can actually just click on this on the invoice, and I'll show you where it is. It's going to take them right to your Facebook account. And the beautiful thing is, get them to like you, and that's going to get all their friends involved and stuff, and hopefully bring in more business. Credit cards. Not everybody likes American Express, so let's just show the ones that we want. We like to have cash, but we don't like checks. So again, deselecting the ones you don't want to show, as easy as that. And again, these images that you see for the cash, they're in that samples folder I just showed. So if you want to add anything to it and use it, right there, click on it, open it up, and put it in, you're good to go. Affiliate logos. Are your technicians ASC certified? Do you support AAA? Do you have towing for them? Do you have Napa parts come in? Do you have a body shop that's associated with you for iCar? All these things are going to build up your value in the customer's name. Now, whenever you make changes in this screen, and I know I went through it a little fast, but the very bottom line is, look at each item, check or uncheck to see if that's what you want to use. When you're done all these changes, you definitely need to come here and hit save and close. If you do not do this, everything that you just changed is going to go away. It's not going to take effect. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm clicking on save and close. I'm going to let it process, and then I'm going to open up that repair order, that invoice that we just had, and you take a look at all the differences. Then we're going to go back to the coupons. Just give this a moment here. It has to digest everything. If you do one screen at a time, it'll be a little quicker. Okay, she's in there. Go back to modern. And mind you, you can go back and change any of these formats too, even after you've chosen them up front. So there's my logo. There's my bolt-on name and everything like that. Your shop name would be there. And look, the highlighting in the yellow is going to make life better. And look, there goes that watermark, the JB Automotive in the background. And you can start making your paperwork stand out. And there goes all my social media. And if I click on any of these, and I have my shop's address set up there, it's going to take you on there. We're not going to go there today. But you get YouTube videos, Twitter account, whatever, all right there. And there goes our shop phone email address that we can send the customer directly to give us a rating and whatnot. So you have a multiple of different ways of making this digital document work for you and your customer. And also, I want you to think about this. If you have customers that drive for a living or fleets, they probably would prefer you to send this document to them digitally. Why? Because when tax season comes, they're ready to actually do their taxes, and if they have a full file of all the digital invoices, all they have to do is send that over to their guy, and he'll be able to go through them. No more digging through glove boxes, finding paper repair orders, invoices, etc. So here's today's findings, and notice, it's highlighted in the blue, and there goes that QR code that tells you, scan the set an appointment. So again, you spent the time telling the customer that they needed this work, and look, it's all due in about a year, state inspection and all that. They scan this, and they're going to send an appointment a year down the line. And think about this. How many of you guys have any appointments further than 2 weeks out? Not many. But using our software and using it properly, you're going to see you're going to be able to start setting those appointments. This QR code here, the way I set it up when I was setting up the invoice, that takes my customer right to my website, this address right here. But if you want to send them somewhere else, you can very easily do some kind of surprise or whatever and just send them there. There goes my excuse me, my credit cards, and notice no American Express, no checks. So we're all good there. So any questions about that part of customizing the invoice? Alrighty, let's move on to coupons. First thing you need to do up here is select Show Coupons. They're not going to appear unless it's actually selected. And here's the big thing about coupons. If you're now starting to use our technology, you're starting to text customers, you don't necessarily need to use the coupon as a way of giving a discount. You can use it as an informational source. Or you can show your customer your everyday low prices. So for example, here, maybe I do transmission flushes or something like that for $179.95. That's my normal everyday low price. So just by selecting and typing it in, that's all it takes to make that coupon work, and those are going to start appearing at the bottom of your invoices when you print them out. Okay, so always have a disclaimer. See, the thing is, those technicians never learned how to type. You put your little disclaimer right in there, and you are good to go once you fix the weirdness that I just did. And that's all it takes to make your own coupons. There's some companies out there that charge you for every coupon you make. So it can be your everyday low price. It can be anything that you want. Also, you have the ability to set up advanced coupons. The car was in for an alignment today, and a category alignment or a recommending alignment, this coupon here is going to show up when we print it out, if that car has the actual alignment on it today. So the information towards that. So going through here and changing all these is a piece of cake and as easy as that. Again, once you make your changes, hit the save and close button, give the software a few moments to digest it, and take a look. If you don't want the coupons at all, just unhook that little box right there and you don't have to show them. If you want to just put all information, again, that's something that's up to you. You can tell them happy holidays or whatever you want to do. And again, it could just be your all low price. They now know that the trans flush is generally $179.95. So we turn that on. Let's go back in here and take a look. We're going to go back to page 2 because that's where we're going to show up. And there you go. We have an alignment on today, so 10% on most vehicles. These are static ones that will show up on every repair order. And if there wasn't an alignment today, the 3 of them that we had shown before would be showing up right here. So again, don't be afraid of that coupon. It doesn't necessarily have to be a discount. It could be an advertisement. It could be everyday low price, etc., etc. You can basically customize the tech worksheets. If you're not using Mobile Manager, you can go in there and use this to make your tech worksheets look a lot nicer. You can add color, etc., etc. And the same plan applies. If you want to save paper, you can look at these lines and select these and hide the customer phone numbers. It's pretty straightforward. If you want to apply specific color to text, like labor you want in red, parts in blue, etc., you can do that. If you want to put text with a highlighted background, or you want to hide text, if I put white for recommendations, that's not going to print. But if I want to really make it stand out, I can put the backup color in black. And again, you can go through here and select what you wish to do and have displayed on each of these. It's save and closed. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time in here because I think most people are just going to prefer to go to a black and white tech worksheet. But basically, you can see how we put the yellow in there. And move around, you see how I put the white text with the black background. So you have a number of ways of doing it. And again, the reason we prefer to go with black and white because it's going to be a lot of ink to do this. And, you know, if you really wanted to, you could send the worksheet to the customer by going back to the home screen and using one of these things because that's what it's going to do for you. Underneath the tech worksheet, separate button up here, we have vehicle history. How long have you had your management system ultimately controls how much your history is. So if you had a management system for 5 years, you can display up to 5 years of history. But that gets a little cumbersome, so by going into this screen here, you can turn it up and down as you wish. My preference is to group the history by date and show only labor items. So what happens is, with this selection that you see here, when I print history out here or when I'm on my tablets, I'm going to see 3 years of history, and it's going to be in chronological order from most recent back to the all this one. Category, if you wish to choose it, it's a little clunkier. You have to use your categories in your management system, and what it's going to do is show the categories that are being used and list the jobs. And if you want to just show labor items for each category, you can do that. No parts will show up. If you want to show the most recent category, it's only going to show the most recent item. And if you want to show where service is not performed, you can select on that. This display here, and here's the thing I would suggest you do, is play with it, take a look at what it says. My experience, this works better for me. And again, any changes you make here, be sure you hit that save and close button, because if you didn't, any changes you made are not going to happen anymore. I'm going to show you quickly how to go about the multi-point building inspections and whatnot. Report Pro is basically where we make most of our customization. So multi-point inspections. When you click on the customize a multi-point inspection, this is your inspection window. You're going to find that we've already given you quite a few inspections right here. But here's the beautiful thing. If there's not enough or there's not ones that you like, go right up to this thing that says go to store. I'm going to tell you a little secret, which really isn't much of a secret. It's not a store, it's more of a library. Many shops that have been on board to bolt-on products are building their own digital inspections, and what they're doing is they submit them to us. You can see here, downloads, and notice the numbers of some of the downloads that we have here. And if it doesn't say bolt-on, it was submitted by the shop whose name appears on it. And what you're seeing here is shops using our software and developing really great inspections, which are an excellent starting point for you whenever building an inspection. For example, Tunex used car inspection. This inspection here goes over all these items, and a lot of the typing and parts and entry, everything that you need to do, more than half of it's already completed for you. And if you're a bad typer, bad speller like me, this is going to be a great help to you getting yourself up and running and building your own inspections. The granddaddy of them all is the IRS inspection. Get all the way up here. IRS courtesy inspection, 810 downloads. And why? Well, this guy spent an awful lot of time doing a lot of work that you can benefit from. So for example, road test, brake system operations, there's 4 notes that he's already built. Noisy, grinding, pulling, pedal is the 4th. So the technician drives, verifies this, clicks on that. Then what's the tech's recommendation? Well, inspect for the cause of the noise, whatever it is. That's his recommendation. So all of this is already pre-built. I'm going to show you exactly where it all shows up. But I want to make you aware of how much work has been done for you. So if you go and download this, click here, and you'll see, in a matter of moments, it's down on my computer. I'll get a message stating that. And now I'm going to show you how to pull it apart. Now also, it says IRS Automotive Courtesy Inspection right here. We're going to cut off the name, and it's only going to show up as a courtesy inspection. So don't be confused when that happens. All right, so template's there. We close out of this. And you can see I've done this demonstration a couple of times, but there it is. Now I double click on it. So now I can make a little more sense out of the inspection for you. Whenever you're building an inspection, whatever, the first thing you can do is name it. Courtesy inspection's name here. Then, in green is our groups. And there's a couple of different ways of looking at what a group is. Here, this group is the road test group. Here, it's the instrument panel and gauges group. So, I mean, you can use it that way if you wish, or, for example, lighting systems. Lighting system is the overall group, but aren't you going to look at all the individual lights and want to be able to show which light is working or not? So a group can be a type of inspection, it could be a system inspection, it could be any number of things that you want, but that's like a heading for each. You even have the miscellaneous here. So let's go into the road test, and here you can see the brakes a little out of order. It's as easy as this: clicking, selecting, and sliding. And see how that black line? You can move and change the order of any of these pieces. So we looked at the brake operation already. Let's take a little closer look at it. And what we're doing is we're going into what's called the points editor, this right here. And I'm going to go over to CAN notes. Here is some of the CAN notes that that shop has already put in there. And look at this. It makes life really easy because all the typing's already done. And then once the technician realizes the pedal goes to the floor, he has to make a recommendation. So the recommendation, as you can see, are already right there. And it's a piece of cake to open these by double-clicking, give them a title, give them a name, and type it in. But look, these people have already done the work. What are you going to have to do? Well, Your system's where all your canned jobs live. So this is where the work that you're going to have to do for each one of these points is you have to go in here, click on canned jobs, and we're in breaks. So let's say a break inspection is one of the canned jobs I want to use. And I can choose multiple ones if I have them here. You can search by the name, hit return, and you can see all the break jobs came up. So we can go through here and look and see what needs to be done. We got that break inspection there. All the other jobs, maybe we want to offer a break flush. Let's keep it simple today and choose that. The other thing, hit OK. And somehow I missed the first one. Let's go back. Where's my break inspection? I probably didn't click it right. Here we go. So now, technician notes the problem, does his recommendation. Now I might suggest a break inspection. And the last step in each point that you're going to have to do is there's a name. You have to assign it to a category in your management system. So what did you choose? Is brakes your category? You put it there. When should the brakes be checked? Well, let's say minimally every 6 months or 6,000 miles. And you put that in there. Once all this is done, folks, you've finished building a single point. Now, mind you, that was just this point right here. Think about how much work this guy has saved by doing all these points that you see. Now, let's say you think this is a little nuts. You don't want to use all this stuff. Like, for example, you want to do all the instrument panel stuff. Well, it's a piece of cake. All you have to do is grab the points, and you can drag them over to our whole points, basically your library built right on your computer, and you can drag these things off one at a time and take them out. So the nice thing is to start with a really big inspection and then wean it down to what you want it to be. And once you go through all of this, none of this gets lost. I mean, you can even move your titles out. Actually, you want to do it this way. Delete the group altogether like this, and it's out here. The way I just did it, we kept the points that way. The points all disappear. But again, the inspection very basically. Name it. Figure out how you're going to handle it. Is this a road test part of the inspection? What do you want to look at? Here's your wipers, etc. Give them all a group name. You can rename the groups if you wish. You can change any way you want. But this is how you very basically build it. And the fact that you can borrow and take offline makes life so much better. When you hit save and close, all this is now saved, and that courtesy inspection is right there. If you don't want to have the courtesy inspection, you don't like it anymore, and you're done with it, you can easily just hit delete, send it on its way. If you want to edit it, change it, you can do that, and hit OK, and boom, boom, done. If you want to duplicate it, maybe you decide this is a great inspection, you don't want to mess with the first one, hit duplicate, it's going to create another one there. So you can take apart one and leave the other one completed. A couple of different ways of looking at it. If you choose to build your own inspection and you want to share it with everybody, click on here, and that'll help you send it up to the internet. And we'll get a look at it. We find it to be good. We will share it with other people. If you have multiple locations and you spend all the time building the perfect inspection on one of these computers, and you want to share it with your other shops, you go over here, click the one, export it, and you export it right to an email, you export it right to your desktop, you export it anywhere you want, and save it, and then send that file to your other shop and have them go over there and hit the import, find that thing, double click on it and send it, bring it right in. It's that easy. Okay. On the inspections, this is where we set up how the inspections are going to work. Let's go back there since it doesn't like me. Oh, there you go. I didn't know I did that. Anyway, so we go to inspection options. Here, if you are working on a ticket and a car comes in for, let's say, state inspection or oil change, and when you open that up on the tablet, I like to have it ask me if I want to add that oil change or that inspection as a point into my inspection. And what that means is, if I had that inspection we just did, now I'll put a state inspection line up at the top there. And that's a good thing if you're doing everything, want it all done with the technician working on it. But I generally don't want it to be done automatically, so I have it ask me. When a technician goes through here and takes a look at it, and all these items are being put back in your management system, it's going to go underneath our findings. If you access the short track for the top issues, and you want to add that to an inspection, you can have the question asked right here. Yes, no, never, or whatever. Again, I like to ask me because I don't necessarily want to put all this information out there for the customer or the technician to see. And here, it'll put them all together, and you can set up how many of these issues you want to display just like that. The next piece is sharing. You see it's here and it's here. This is the message that when you text these inspections out to your customer, that's going to go out to your customer. And it's going to automatically take information. When you see these little bracketed letters, words, that's taking out of the customer's information. So it's going to please click below, and if we're working on a Taurus today, inspection JB Automotive, one of our advisors will follow up, and this is where the inspection will go. Or if you send it via email. And these things are very easily changed by selecting and typing in. Just be aware that these wildcards, these words and brackets, will customize it. So, for example, the URL is going to be the actual link to the inspection. The title is going to take the inspection title, whatever you named it. Customer name is going to be filled in, their first name. The vehicle year and make and model is going to be there, and then your repair order number all is there. So if you put these in here, it's going to tell your customer those pieces of information. It's going to take them right out of your database. You have a couple of different themes. This is the typical one here. When I right-click on it, you can open up. See, that's our typical inspection sheet. When I left-click, that's how I select it. You see a little arrow up here. If I left-click here, so you can take a look at these and see which one you like. Again, the typically one that everyone's happy with is this one here. And right-clicking on it's all it takes. If you're staying in paper, like folks said that you're moving up, you can actually go in there and start modifying it. But because it sounds like we're going into the world of tablets, we're going to let that go. Something we don't need to cover. Tools. Inspection Manager. You just got your tablets. You built your inspections. Your technician submits the inspection to you to look at before you send it to customer. Inspection Manager is where you're going to go in there and take a look at it. Inspection Manager gives you the ability to look at all or inspections that are not looked at yet, they're in a waiting process, or ones that are in progress, or complete inspections. So you can see today we don't have much getting done, but we have a lot in progress or whatever. And this is the way you find the inspections that you're looking for. So for example, let's go in here and look at one and see how it is. What we're going to do is open it up and see what information the technician's included in here for you. Let's see if we can find one that's... All right, cool. All right, so basically what you want to do in this screen here is go through it and take a look and see how the technician's doing the inspection. Now, if they're not completed yet, you can actually go in there and see where they stand. But you have a number of different ways of actually looking at these inspections. You can go in here and you can hit it by a tab group. Right now, this is the whole inspection sheet, but here, all those titles that you put in there, all those groups will be listed here. So you can very easily go through group by group and look at each system individually. So that's how you can look at them here. And if there's more than the page can hold, you can move that back and forth. But if you like to just hold and look at the whole inspection sheet, you can do it here. Or if you just want to do point by point, from the top to the bottom, you can start working your way through, hit next, look at that one, hit next, look at that one, and continue through. So you want to check here to make sure that the technician has chosen the color. You want to make sure that the technician has put in a can note. What was his finding? So here's the steering feels loose. That should be in there, and the technician would do this on the tablet. You hit the red button there because that's a problem. What's the technician's recommendation going to be? Well, right now, inspect the system, and you can see that's the name, and that's the actual right. Again, your technician is putting all this in very quickly. Of course, you should have it assigned to the proper category. And when you put that all in there, and there should be a picture right here. Now, when it comes to pictures, it's really important to make sure that your technicians understand that taking pictures is good, the bad, and the ugly are what they want to do. So as you're looking on here, you're going to be able to go through and look at that. So let's see if we can find one that's complete here. So you can see how we went through this inspection here, and we got some pictures. When you look at the pictures, you can zoom them in just like the technician can do, or it can be done on the tablet that easily. Also, when you're looking through an inspection like this, one of the things that you want to do is make sure, again, that the technician's not only taking pictures, but he's looked at things and drawn on the tablet and actually put down notes, drawing the customer's eyes. Now, this here is a rough version of it before we send it to the customer. When we send it to the customer, it's going to render. So that's why we click on this open in browser window. It's going to render the document out how they would see it on their phone if we send it to them. The other side of this, too, is if your customer's waiting, you can show them right on your laptop or on your tablet exactly what the inspection looks like right here. And what's nice about this inspection is you can go through it point by point, clicking on it, showing the lights, showing whatever the technician's taking a picture of, and showing a customer exactly what's going on. All right, so there's your wiper issues and things of that sort. And here's the other thing that I suggest when your technician's taking pictures. This guy here found that twitch strut to be loose. So what did he do? He tightened it and wrote, was loose, took a picture. So you're building value in those inspections and showing that you're not charging the customer for everything that you do. So keep that in mind. That we're going to build trust. And look at this. Is that customer going to have any issues replacing that filter here? Because it's very obvious that the old one is pretty much done. So you definitely want to have your technicians take pictures of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Well, what's going on? Why does it smell like mice? Well, because they're living in your air filter there. So you can go through this document and show them exactly why you are recommending things. And mind you, again, this is what the rendered report looks like as it's coming out. So this is all very good. Again, value in what you did. We topped off your window washer flood. So we have, while we're in Inspection Manager, we can send this inspection via text message, email, or put it as a note on the work order. Text message, you click here, it opens up your message manager. It renders a copy, and it puts a note here, and it takes the information out of those wildcards, and it tells the customer that we send this to them, and here is the inspection right now on a little link. When they click on this link, it's going to send a message back to us letting us know that John Burkhauser has looked at the inspection. So now we can give them a call because we know that they've already looked at it. And just as easy as clicking here, that's send it. You can also send these via off the tablets too. Email, we don't generally want you to do this way because about 2/3 to a half of all email never gets open. Your best bet is to send it to your customer via text. And if the customer's address and everything's in there, it's going to work fine that way. So that's the Inspection Manager. It takes you through basically your inspections. You check them out before you send them to the customer. Another great tool that a lot of people aren't using, and I'm afraid for you, is that with a repair order open in the background. Here we got Herbert Campbell open up here. What we're going to do is register the tires as is required by law. So we put some federal tires on this customer's vehicle. We click there and check this out. It automatically fills in all the customer's information and it fills in your shop information. All your service advisor does, how many tires have the same dot code? Put that there, type in the dot code, select the tire pattern or type or whatever it is. Once this is in, boom, hit click, send the form, and guess what? You just registered those tires. And it's that easy. And look at all the different brands that are being supported. And you know it is a federal law. And what's going to happen? No one's going to get caught or in trouble until something bad happens. And then everybody will. Just think about that Ford Firestone thing that happened. We talked briefly about categories. Maybe you didn't set up your categories really well in the beginning. So as you look through here, what we've given you the ability to do is take those categories and change them. So what we're talking about here is, for example, what is a comments category? Why would someone have a comments category? So maybe what they're doing is that's where they just put all the customer comments for certain things that are coming up. Or some shops, unfortunately, what they'll do is they'll build a maintenance category and they'll just dump everything in there. Oil changes, air filters, you name it, all gets dumped in there. Well, there's a problem with that. Or miscellaneous is another place they'll dump it. When you want to run your reports at the end of the month, if you think about categories like little boxes where you put things, your report software can't figure out what's all in that box because it's a big mess. So what we've done here is we give you the ability to unassign all those oil changes, air filters, and stuff from that category, just by clicking a single button. And then you go back over here and do your search, and let's say it's oil. I just type that in, I hit return, and it's now thinking about. And all you need to do here to start putting those oil changes where they belong is do a right click, find your oil change category right there, click on the left side, give it a moment to digest, and you just move your categories in. Yes, unfortunately, it's a one step at a time process, but the thing is if you go through it now and get it started, you'll fix a lot of good things and have a much better report at the end of the month. You have a car where you screwed up on the odometer, and maybe the thousandths showed, or the tenths showed up in there, okay? All you have to do here, double click, put the right number in, hit OK, and you just changed it. No uninvoicing, no opening and closing repair orders. Everything's done just in a couple of clicks. What a lifesaver. All right, settings, general settings. This should already be set up when we install your software. The only thing I might recommend is actually copying this down, so if Windows burps or something happens, you have the ability to change it. The theme, if you don't like the light gray, you can go to dark gray. I mean, you can see pretty much what that is. Quick reports. This is where we tell our software when we print through Report Pro that we want the modern template. Remember I mentioned that was the more popular one? And here you should have your printer selected. Because I'm doing demos, I don't print it. But again, another screen to take some info. And if you want to have two copies, if you are printing out the paper ones, you have the customer sign one, you can keep it. And you want to send with the customer, set that up for 2. And if they're multi-page documents. So you have a 3-page document, it's going to print page 1, 2, and 3, collating them all together for you, if that is selected there. Quick vehicle. This is where you can tell if you're still printing the tech worksheets that not only do you want a tech worksheet, but you want it to print a multi-point inspection. So it's going to do both, and it's going to send it to whatever printer's here. And again, how many copies, and if you want to collate it, it's up to you. So you can also have a print history, a tech worksheet, or whatever you want right there. Virtual printer. A virtual printer is going to allow you to print straight through Repair RO Writer if you click up here and allow the install process to go. And also when you folks have the tablets, you'll be able to print from RO Writer right through Report Pro using that same thing. So click that, follow the steps, and it'll take you there. And this should automatically be set up with your information for your shop right there. So any emails that go out automatically go out through your email program. And it also gives the customer a way of getting back to you back and forth. And if that's not set up, you can actually use the setup wizard. That should help you. If you have any issues with this, feel free to contact us so we can help you get through it. And again, any changes you make sure you hit save and close. Give us a moment. Your tablets and your computers all get addresses, IP addresses and port addresses. There's no tablets linked to this right now, but when you get yours, you need to tell your tablets and your computer to talk to each other. And the way you're going to do that is click on here, and then on the tablet, go into Settings, and you're going to see a little barcode, scan barcode at the top there. Click on there, and when your camera goes on, aim it right here, and this IP address and port address are automatically going to be absorbed by your tablet, allowing your tablet to communicate with your computers. This is a big thing because if you get a Windows update or some other issues, that might kick these addresses out or change them. It's always a very quick way to go. And it's an idea to let all your technicians know that if for whatever reason the tablets are not communicating, to go here first. Remember, it's Report Pro, Settings, Mobile Config, and scan this in the settings screen on a tablet, and more times than not, that's going to fix an issue. You guys, when you get your tablets, they should already be configured to that. Your actual addresses, we try to do that up front. Last but not least, the help guide. If you click here, it'll take you right to our website, and it takes you right to all the pieces that you might need to know for the software that you're working on. So whatever program of ours you're in, you just go here, you can look it up and just very easily go through and look up the information that you're seeking, and that way it's going to help you out. What's new? Just got an update that came through. Today is the 4th, right? And there it is. So if you didn't get the update today, you're probably still back at release 168, but 169 came out, and there's a number of things that have been changed and fixed, and this here tells you what those items are. So when you do the update, take a look at that and see what you got. If you're having big problems and your software is not working or something happened, go to remote support, put in your issue, whatever it might be, and hit OK. And what it's going to do is it's going to download an app onto your computer. This is the preferred method for you folks to get your computers fixed. I'm not going to allow this to happen because my support crew is going to start looking for me. But what happens is, let us get into your computer and find out exactly what's going on. If we try to do this over the phone, there's a big delay, and if you try to do it by email, there's a big delay. This way here, you get to go directly into us, and we get right into you, and within a couple of minutes, hopefully have it fixed. Matter of fact, you can go to our website by clicking here, and when you go to our website, you can go to support, and when the support shows up, you can go in to get it, let us connect to your PC right here, just again, filling out the proper information, and everything's good to go. All right, videos. Just to give you a heads up, the videos are going to be changed. You may have noticed online that we have some videos that are over an hour long. In the process of making what we call snippets, where you're going to have a video that shows you exactly what you want to know. You're going to look up what you want to know, which part of the training you need, what part you need to fix or change. And in as little as 30 seconds and no more than 5 minutes, you're going to have the answer. You're going to be able to run the video side by side as you're actually working in our programs. And that's due to go up in the next month or so. So all this stuff here might be a little outdated. All the newer stuff is coming to take care of all that. And finally, there's only a few reports available for you folks on Report Pro. If you decided that you want to have new reports, you can click here, and it opens an email, and you can write us a nice little letter saying, hey, this is the kind of report that I would like to see, and you send it to us. If there's other shops that are requesting that, and it gets pushed to the top of the heap, it's something we'll consider to do. If it's something that you feel is important enough to you, you can let us know that, and then we can kind of cost it out how much the development for that would cost, and have that developed for you.